What's going on, guys? Welcome to VOS Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. I want to thank you for joining us today on the show. As always, right here on Red Carpet, we bring you the latest in entertainment news, in sports, in fashion, in film and television from around the world. Let's begin. And we begin with the US presidential election, where more than 150 million voters cast their ballots. A majority did not vote for Kanye West. Surprise, surprise! The rapper was on the ballot in only 12 states and received around 50,000 votes, give or take, including his own. On election day, he tweeted, "Today I'm voting for the first time in my life for the President of the United States, and it's for someone I really, truly trust. And that's me." Apparently conceding the rest, West later tweeted a photo of himself in front of an election map with the caption, "Kanye 2024. So that means this is not the last time we see Kanye West trying to run for presidency. And VOA projects former Vice President Joe Biden as the winner of the election. Running mate Kamala Harris becomes the first woman and the first person of color to be Vice President-elect. She's the daughter of Jamaican and Indian immigrants, inspiring actress Viola Davis to post an Instagram slideshow of all previous US vice presidents with a quote from Harriet Tubman, which reads, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world." Now, I know many of you are wondering who won the Best African Act at this year's MTV European Music Awards. Now, we can tell you that South African artist Master KG, the one from Jerusalem, took home the prize, beating out artists like Nigeria's Burna Boy and Rema, along with Uganda's Shiba and DRC's Gaz Mawete. Cabs De Small and DJ Maphorisa from South Africa were also nominated. You might recall Master KG's house music hit Jerusalem, which went viral after an online dance challenge captivated millions around the world as a way to come together safely during the pandemic and to celebrate humanity. And congratulations to you, Master KG, whose win is the first for his country after 7 years. And for more African music news, Nigerian singer Wizkid has dropped a new album titled Made in Lagos, dedicating it to his hometown at a time when the country faces protests following renewed concerns about police misconduct. Along with other celebrities who have been vocal about the events in Nigeria, Wizkid delayed his album, originally scheduled to be released October 15th, out of respect for what was taking place in his country. Unity is key. The youth of Nigeria need our collective voices to continue to shine a spotlight to what is happening inside the country, he said in a press release. "I want to play my part in this and in the movement for a better Nigeria, a better place to live for ourselves, our families, and our communities." The 14-track record features big-name artists such as Burna Boy, Damian Marley, Her, and Elamai. Two legends you've probably heard about have come together for an engaging conversation. Music icon Stevie Wonder spoke virtually to the one and only Oprah Winfrey about his music, COVID-19, and his hopes for the future.
Because your music focused on our humanity in a way that many in society had refused to accept. And it's so interesting because I've always known that your songs captured both the joy and the trauma of our culture. Do you think we're in another fragile decade now?
Without question. And most importantly, we are so close to not being the nation that people talk about. We can't talk about being the land of the free and the brave and the give me you're tired and all that, and then there are people who hate. I don't care what ethnicity you are, what color you are. You see, the great thing about being blind for me is that I don't see color, but I do see the spirit. And if your spirit's not right, I can just feel it.
Stand-up comedians are adapting to life in COVID-19. And VOA's Veronica Balderas Iglesias found comics here in Washington, D.C. area who are still making people laugh.
Stand-up comedy pre-pandemic used to look like this.
Got the basement, moved upstairs now, got my own room.
People packed in, close together, without face masks on, laughing, spraying, all of their germs out everywhere. And that's just not conducive in this sort of environment.
So they now perform outside in parking lots and backyards.
Started COVID by myself in the house alone, boring.
And the effort to make a safe comeback for laughter under COVID-19 has been a bumpy ride.
Crickets is out, bugs, I'm squatting mosquitoes on the stage sometimes, ambulance, helicopters. It's a lot of outside factors, outside hecklers that you can't really do anything about.
The required face coverings in the audience to lessen the risk of infection is another challenge.
You can't see them smile and stuff, so you really have to make sure your jokes are hitting. You don't know if they like you yet until you have a punchline that works.
I've been working from home. Anybody else? A lot of people? I'm not a fan, because I don't do well work. I barely worked from work, you know what I mean? So now pants are optional. And
Since COVID-19's onset, it's taken months for these young comedians who normally earn from $20 to $200 a show to get back on stage.
My nephew's out of school. He's not going to school because of COVID. Do you guys remember what happened the last time we had a tragedy? Do you guys remember the DC sniper? Do you remember what they told us to do? Lock the door? No, they told us to run in zigzags.
As independent contractors, they work with organizations such as Crybaby DC and Capital Laughs, which used to organize 40 shows a week in bars and restaurants. That's now down to 4 a month outdoors.
I think I saw a poll where it was like 30% of businesses who closed during COVID don't think that they're going to even reopen. And that's really scary. Because, those businesses help produce comedy shows, help artists in a lot of other ways.
The DC Comedy Loft, for instance, has canceled about 150 shows and projects $2 million in lost revenue. When the Loft reopens, it will be at only 35% capacity for social distancing. But beyond the financial toll, these comedians worry about losing their creative spark.
You're used to being creative and exercising that muscle and also existing in a creative environment with a lot of other people that's very social. It's kind of like, where does all my inspiration go?
Like the fun part about being a comedian is if you come up with an idea that day, you can go try it that night. And now a lot of the times you're having to sit on a joke for 5 or 6 days before you actually finally get to test it out again.
Aware that the business will be struggling for a while, fans are willing to undergo temperature checks and follow safety rules, at least in part, to support the comics.
It's never an easy career, and so especially right now, it's really important to still, do what we can. And then we also get a benefit out of it by getting to get out of the house, which is nice.
We can't stop living, but we just got to take the necessary precautions. Laughter takes away a lot of stress from the day. So that's the key to life, laughter.
I'm trying to lose weight. Anyone else here? Liars? Anyone else?
Veronica Balderas Iglesias for VOA News, Alexandria, Virginia.
Bold styles are the norm of São Paulo Fashion Week, but this year designers in Brazil's most cosmopolitan city are focusing more on their models and the color of their skin.
During protests over racial injustice following the killing of George Floyd in the United States, 3 black models shared personal stories of racism in the Brazilian modeling industry during a raw, hours-long talk with São Paulo Fashion Week founder Paulo Borges. Broadcast live on social media, Borges told the Associated Press that conversation helped shape the decision that half of the models in Latin America's largest fashion show should be black, of African descent, or indigenous.
We took that decision to oblige 50% of models are black, Afro-descendant or indigenous. All the participants understand there needs to be a bigger effort. We need to leave the space of white privilege to be able to make this change in the world. Otherwise, it will not happen.
Angela Brito, a Rio de Janeiro-based designer who moved to Brazil from Cape Verde more than 2 decades ago, showed the AP her 2020 collection, which she dubbed Identity, blending traditional women clothes from her home country with other styles. Even before the race requirement, she employed all black casts and has sought to highlight the issue.
When you have an entire team from the same ethnicity and you talk about an issue that you're not familiar with, chances are is that you will make a mistake. I think a diverse team is key so we can minimize the impacts, mainly of racism.
And let's stay on the topic with the kaftan, perhaps one of the most traditional and enduring garments in fashion history, adopted by many cultures over thousands of years. And today, the iconic outfit still enjoys universal appeal. VOA's Julie Tebo has more.
It's comfortable, versatile, and very popular. The enduring kaftan, with its free-flowing style and forgiving lines, has been around for thousands of years and has recently enjoyed a surprising resurgence. The Natori Company, a high-end women's fashion brand that has been making kaftans since 1977, has seen a spike in sales.
Compared to the same period last year, from the beginning of COVID until now, our kaftan sales on Natori.com are up 150%. The kaftans have had a huge resurgence over the last 5 years. You see them on the runway, influencers, actresses, people wear them in, they entertain in them, they wear them out.
Originating in ancient Mesopotamia, the kaftan was first worn by men of high rank, but evolved over time. It came to be worn primarily by women in many cultures throughout the world. It ranges in style from simple cotton fabrics to more elaborate designs of silk or satin, lavishly decorated with beads and intricate embroidery. In Morocco, the popular garment is worn by women seeking to combine tradition with modern style. The annual kaftan show in the city of Marrakesh features a dazzling display of one-of-a-kind kaftans.
We're talking here about a traditional garment that is centuries old, yet it looks like new. It is not easy to reach this level of perfection.
Each kaftan at the show is a unique work of art that takes hours of meticulous work by dozens of traditional artisans who work under the supervision of the designer.
I'm one of those who preserves the authenticity of the kaftan because it's our heritage, and our children should know how to wear it. A dress is a dress, while a kaftan should remain as is.
The Moroccan kaftan is not just a fashionable item of clothing. It also contributes to the country's handicraft exports and employs thousands of workers, providing much-needed revenue to the Moroccan economy.
Traditional Moroccan clothes represent 16% of the total exports of our handicrafts. I believe that this figure is very important.
This sector is very important because it employs more than 75,000 traditional craftsmen, and its exports reach nearly $3.5 million.
In Europe and in the U.S., celebrities, both past and present, have often been seen wearing kaftans in public.
Versatile, comfortable, and increasingly on trend. So we hope they continue to be as popular as they are now.
Since the kaftan has lasted for thousands of years, chances are this enduring garment will last for a few thousand more. Julie Tabo, VOA News.
And we have a new Miss USA, Asia branch. The first African-American Miss Mississippi USA was crowned Miss USA 2020 in a competition at Elvis Presley's Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. And with that, we come to the end of our show today. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voanews.com. We are also on all social media platforms. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Remember to share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about the show. Until next time, Goodbye, everyone.